Finally, Peter's saying, when you really want to live for God, when you want to live by the power of God and the strength of God, and the first thing he said, look at verse 7, he said, basically, cast your anxiety and your worries and care upon Him, because He loves you, He takes care of you. See, when you live for God and by God's power, you're going to live above your circumstances. When you live for God and by God's power, you're going to live above anxiety and worry. When you are faithful with God with your resources, when you are faithful with God with your life, when you're faithful with God, God obligated Himself to bless you. And therefore worry and anxiety and fear don't belong to the people of God. Listen carefully. To live for God is to live in every way opposite of the way you see television, the way the world lives. Exact opposite. That people think, we need to be like the world so the world doesn't kind of look upon us. Forget about it. We are supposed to be different. And different is good, as far as I'm concerned. And here's the paradox. Here's the biblical paradox that we are commanded to live. We see the unseen things. When people can't see it, we see it. We conquer by yielding. We lead by serving. We find rest in a yoke. We are made great by becoming little in our own eyes. We are exalted by being humble. We become wise when we become fools for Jesus' sake. We are made free by becoming bond slaves to Jesus Christ. We possess all things by having nothing. We wax strong by being weak. We triumph by defeat. We find victory by glorying in our infirmity. And finally, we live by dying to self. If you're living for self, stop it. If you feel that you're a cut above, stop it. You're a sinner like me, all saved by the grace of God. And we became saints because of Jesus. Not by our own righteousness, but the righteousness of Jesus that He has given us that made us great.
Pointed words for parents, for church leaders, for all of us, from our teacher here on Leading the Way, Dr. Michael Youssef. Now remember that you can get information on how to order a copy of today's message or the entire series of messages, Blessed to be a Blessing, when you call us here at 1-800-337-5323, or when you click on resources at leadingtheway.org. Have you read Dr. Youssef's most recent book? Now, if you haven't, you really should make it a point to right away. It's called The Greatest Lie, and this book goes head-to-head against a very prominent teaching that's out there today in our culture. The one that all roads lead to heaven. In essence, whatever faith you call your own, if you just follow that faith sincerely, then you'll go to heaven. Which, if you think about it, even for a moment, makes the birth, the life, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus completely unnecessary. It denies the truth of the Bible, and people in this modern culture are falling for it. But in his book, The Greatest Lie, Dr. Youssef tackles this in a very compassionate and yet thoroughly academic way. It will equip you to share your faith, and if you give the book as a gift to a friend or a coworker, it will declare the truth to them very directly. Oh, and Dr. Youssef has also packaged his book into a small group study, a study that many churches are using, as well as individuals. It's a great tool for you to reach out to folks that you know, maybe do a neighborhood Bible study. So learn how to get a copy of The Greatest Lie, the book, or the small group study when you call our resource line at 1-800-337-5323. That's 1-800-337-LEAD. Or you can order directly from our website when you click on to leadingtheway.org. Just click on Resources. That's leadingtheway.org. Well, there's the music that signals we're out of time for today. I hope that you'll join us next time for the culmination of Dr. Youssef's series, Blessed to be a Blessing. Make plans to join us then, right here for Leading the Way.